This is your Simply the Best station, Star 103.5 FM, and EIB remains your 2024 election hub. Well, it's now time to take you on the campaign trail.
No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness.
Well, it's some few minutes to 6 p.m. Only 87 days to election 2024. Welcome to your election hub. In about 24 hours, the Electoral Commission's deadline for submitting nomination for both the presidential and parliamentary election comes to an end.
Mysterious because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them.
Thankfully,
back. I want you to feel free from the
or perhaps hopefully,
got,
my guest for tonight on the campaign show has met his deadline and submitted his forms to enter parliament. Come January 7, 2025. Now let me give you some interesting facts about the area he wants to represent according to the Ghana Statistical Service. Now, out of 261 districts, this district ranks as in literacy rate. Of course, what do you expect when the premier university of the country is in that constituency? Sharply contrasting is best in lowest rate of child marriage, highest urbanized area in the country of 100% among others. Well, if you know or live in Jowulu, Abelemkwe, Roman Ridge, East Legon, Airport Residential Area, Bawaleshi, I'm talking about your neighborhood, the Ayawaso West Wogon. Well, the constituency is the Ayawaso West Wogon, currently held by the NPP, and it has been so since the year 2002. And the NDC, despite its impressive run in the 2020 election, lost narrowly, but now confident more than ever of its chances this year. Well, my esteemed audience listening to us on Star 103.5 FM or on Facebook, I have a man in the studio who has vowed to end the NPP-NDC dominance in Ayawaso West Wogon. He's my guest on campaign trail this evening, and he's independent parliamentary aspirant Abdul Rauf Mumuni Abugri. Welcome to campaign trail, Abdul Rauf.
Thank you, my brother.
It's great having you over here.
All right, I appreciate it.
Okay. Now, first off, let me zoom in. We have John Dumelo. We have Lydia Seram Al-Hassan. These are powerhouses. Do you by any chance feel threatened?
No, actually, I don't feel threatened. I believe that politics is not won by numbers. It's not won by, how do you call it, money or fame. These are the two things that we should consider so far as politics is involved. And mostly, a lot of people always ask me this question based on the fact that they believe maybe John DeMello is very famous, and then Lydia is rich when it comes to that matter, so far as his husband is concerned. So when it comes to politics this time around, we look at the numbers, and when we look at the numbers, it is at the polling station that we can actually say that these are the numbers. It is the polling station that is going to constitute the numbers that we are looking at. Actually, you could have the masses following you, giving you funds and the support that you need. But during the election day, the vote might not turn out on your behalf. So when it comes to Dumelo and Lydia, I don't think they are something like we say they are giving me headache. I am rather giving them the nightmare.
But you agree that fame and wealth have parts to play?
Fame and wealth has part to play. But I could possibly tell you that when we talk about fame, Dumelo would have been able to win that seat because Dumelo is more famous than Lydia. And when we want to consider fame within the country, I know of a few people who are more wealthy and they are also into politics, but they've never had the chance to win power. I could use somebody as an example. Let me feel free to mention that. Hassan Ayarga is very wealthy. He's been in politics since 2012. As of now, we don't even see something like 1%. But we have other people like Gum who just showed up during the 2020 election. We can't count off his asset and anything throughout the country. But was able to get a percentage that led him to the third position within the country.
So you talk about wealth playing a part. What do you think about vote buying in our current dispensation?
Well, vote buying is something that happens during every election within the country. And it has been the norm since 1992. And there are agencies that are supposed to play a critical role in resolving some of these things. The National Peace Council is part, Electoral Commission, and the NCC. They are supposed to play the role in educating the people that vote buying is not something that they should agree to. Don't let somebody just walk to you and then give you money because maybe you need it, you urgently need it for something else, or maybe you think that when they win power and then they go to parliament, they won't come back and do something for you. Well, this is what the political parties are trying to play our minds with. They feel like during every campaign season or before election, the only thing that could help them is that they have to give people huge sums of money before they'll be able to vote for them because they feel like they've not done anything to encourage the people. Ghana, we've moved past that level. And I believe when you said that Ayawaso West Legon ranks the most literate people within the country, I could possibly tell you that Ayawaso West Legon is the most developed constituency throughout the whole country. And we have the elites there. So this is not a constituency that you could just wake up one day and walk to somebody and give the person maybe 500 cedis. Even when you offer the person 1 million, you can't use that as an incentive to maybe buy the mind of the person.
But there's a very high student population over there.
The student population is very high. And I could tell you that most of the people who vote there, we are having about 70% of them who are youth. That is why a young guy below the age of 30 years, like me, Abdul Rauf Mumuni Abugri, I am contesting. Because these are people who feel like I am within their territory, I fall within their age range. And they feel like this is the time that we have to reset our mind, change by giving the power to a youth who falls within their category.
So you say you're contesting.
Yes.
Have you filed your nomination yet?
I filed my nomination just this afternoon around 3 p.m. just at the Electoral Commission old office just here. I did that today.
And you paid the amount?
I paid the amount, the exact amount.
What do you think about the rate?
Well, the rate of the filing fee, I think is okay. To me, it's okay. But then there is one thing that's almost, I could say that it affected me in a way. That has to do with the tax clearance certificate. This time around, I don't know what is actually wrong, or I don't know what has actually gone wrong. I actually went to one GRA office and then I requested for my tax clearance certificate. And you know, so far as you are filing for nomination to contest as a member of parliament, when you are requesting for your tax clearance certificate, it has nothing to do with your business. Your business is not involved. You are filing with your personality, not your business. So if you are filing with your personality, then you are requesting for that. And they are asking you to pay an amount of 60,000 Ghana cedis or 50,000 Ghana cedis for the last 3 years. Assuming you've not paid any tax for the last 3 years, that is the amount that you're supposed to pay. They are asking for that amount. It's very huge. And that is a challenge that I face alongside in filing my nomination. The amount they charged me was in between 30,000 to 50,000. That is very huge. What at all have I done? Because look, when I try reviewing the taxes, I could see airport levy, e-levy, betting levy, and all those kind of things within the tax that I paid for my tax clearance certificate before I got my tax clearance certificate.
Did you know that before you went to the GRA offices?
I didn't know anything like that. I just walked in as everybody does, and then I requested for a tax clearance certificate. They took my Ghana card, kept it on their system, and then they came back to tell me
But
that
moving forward, what would you want to do about it?
Well, I would say that I asked most of my colleagues who are also contestant. Some of them even mentioned a higher amount than that. Some of them also mentioned a lower amount that is even less than 5,000 Ghana cedis. By then, I had already paid my amount. So,
But what accounts for the contrast in the costs?
well, I don't know what actually accounts for that. But then, I think this is an opportunity for them to pop it from some of us, because I don't know what actually I have done to pay this amount of money as tax before I'll be able to contest as a member of parliament.
Finally, you have turned in everything. Your
Yes.
nomination has been
Sure,
filed and
sure.
it has been accepted. So now you're confirmed as a candidate in
Yes.
the 2024
Exactly.
election pending electoral commission's
Sure.
investigations. What are your policies for Ayawaso West Wogon?
Well, last 2 weeks I released the 10 policies in breaking the duopoly of MPP and NDC within the Ayawaso West Wogon. And I could possibly tell you that I'm the first person within the constituency to organize a press conference just to share my policies with the people. Both NDC and MPP, they've been based on their political party manifestos for the whole country. And when we are doing that, you are not taking the interest of the people at first. You are taking the interest of your political party at first. Doing away with that, let me share with you the 10 policies. First of all, I talk about transparent governance. And with the transparent governance, it should be in a way that when you are elected into power, you should be able to account for your people. Let the people feel free in walking to your office and ask you for any information or request for any information, and you'll be able to provide for them.
Doesn't it exist already?
It exists within the country. My brother, in most constituencies, you can't just, even the MP self is not even staying in the constituency. Within a whole year, the MP might even visit the constituency like twice or even 2 times. It is only when it gets closer to the election time that you see most of them around, organizing rallies, going around, and then the people get to know that these are the people that who want to contest as a member of parliament within the constituency.
What's your second?
The second one has to do with the proper database system. And I believe that Ayawaso West Wogon, being the most developed constituency within the country, we should have a proper database system. And the proper database system should be able to capture everybody's details right away from birth. Unlike the Ghana card that captures people's details from the age of 15 upwards there. So with a proper database system, if we are able to capture your details right away from birth, it captures everything. When you start schooling, it's going to capture that. When you start working, it's going to capture that. Every single amount that you're earning is going to capture that. Assuming you are working here, and then within the database system, we know that this is the amount of, let me use an amount, for instance. You take 10,000 Ghana cedi as a basic salary, and there are other part-times that you also do. And then we are also able to capture that this is the amount of money that, so annually we know that there is an annual, as you are going to make some expenditures from that money. But we are going to categorize like, okay, you are taking 10,000 Ghana cedi. So annually, we should be projecting at 120,000 Ghana cedi. So annually, if you review your account and your money is more than that amount, that means that you have some questions to answer. That is a way we'll be able to detect corruption within the constituency. And also, this proper database system will also help us cure the rate of unemployment. We are going to have a data resource center within the constituency. And with the data resource center, if you're a company like Star FM or GH1 and you're looking for employees, you don't go around posting on Facebook or posting on walls that
But
you are.
Aren't these steps that you have outlined right now in connection to the database sort of nationalistic than constituency based?
Yes, it's a sort of nationalistic, but then in the situation that none of these political parties that we have has been able to chip in to implement it within the country. I believe that limiting it to my constituency will be the best, because within Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, we record, the high rate of unemployment within the youth, because most of them are university graduates. Most of them, when they graduate from universities, companies will be there asking for 2 years, 3 years working experience. And then if no company is willing to, employ somebody to start as at fresh, who will be willing to employ somebody, everybody's willing to employ somebody who is having 2-3 years experience. So if he or she doesn't pick up from somewhere, who is willing to do that?
So let's run through the other 7
yes.
The other 8 policies.
So the other one too that I talk about is urban farming system. Within the Ayawa West Ogun, being the most developed constituency in Ghana, people factor it as more residential area than to use it for industrial activities, maybe agricultural activities. So I believe that when I'm elected in power and I introduce that policy, it's really going to help, because we can't be living within the constituency, and anytime that we need, food stuff, we have to buy them from the northern region. And this really causes what we call food genocide, because if you want to be buying some of these food from, let's take it like from the northern region and co, before they will get to Kumasi, they might have spoiled. So before they will even, export them from maybe the northern region to the greater Accra before it gets to my constituency, they might have to maybe infiltrate some chemicals and some other things just to protect it before it gets to the constituency. So with this urban farming system, I have rolled it out in the way that if you have a land that has a minimum size of 70 by 100, and then you want to use it for farming, anybody who allows his land to be used for farming, you're going to do the farming yourself, and you'll be paid an amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis every month as a farmer within the constituency. And when we roll out this, people might think that a 70 by 100 land is a small piece of land that if you use it for farming, you're not going to actually have any good yield of it, or you're not going to make anything out of that.
Abdul Rauf,
yes.
Let me catch you over there.
Right.
We have Samuel Tete, the Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations at the Electoral Commission, responding to some concerns about the voters register. It has been a topic which we've been waiting for the whole day. So we'll cross over to the EC office.
That is the essence of the exhibition exercise. It is to correct discrepancies. This is what is being done, as has been the case in the past. It is not new. Then, the Commission is of the view that the forensic audit is not what is needed at this time. It is premature. 11. The Commission wishes to inform the general public that the voters' exhibition exercise in itself is an audit. The exhibition offers an avenue for the auditing of the register. It unearths discrepancies and allows for prescribed legal processes to correct the discrepancies. Perhaps this is the first time the NDC has taken interest in the register. Otherwise, one would have expected them to call for such an audit of the 2016 register, which contained photos of plants and animals representing voters. It is important to note that, contrary to what is being alluded, since 1992, the voters register has never been audited. 12. The exhibition exercise enables citizens to verify their details and allows for the unearthing of discrepancies in the register. Additionally, it provides for the correction of discrepancies in the register. This is not new. This has been the practice since 1992. The process of cleaning and strengthening the voters' register is well defined by law. We have also noted comments by the NDC to the effect that the very doctor that created the problem should not be the doctor that will resolve the problem. The EC must agree for an independent body to audit them. The EC holds a contrary view to the position held by the NDC. We reiterate that It is the EC that is clothed with the responsibility and capacity to address discrepancies in the provisional voters register. The Commission has been doing this since 1992. It has the experience to do this and does not require any external organization to do its work. We reiterate that the law makes provision for the self-auditing of the voters register through the voters exhibition exercise. The exercise makes available the provisional copy of the register and allows citizens to verify their details and point out discrepancies with their details. Additionally, the same law allows for the correction of these discrepancies by the EC at all levels, from the field to the districts to the head office. This is the laid down, tried and tested process, and it works. What then is the purpose of the proposed forensic audit? The Commission is of the view that such an audit will add no value whatsoever to the well-defined, tried and tested process documented for the cleaning and strengthening of the provisional voters register. The question is, should the forensic audit be conducted? Who will fix the discrepancies in the register? The answer is, it is the same commission that will fix the discrepancies, and that is what we are doing. It is for this reason that the EC is of the view that the call for a forensic audit is misguided. The Commission believes that, as has been the case in the past, the exhibition exercise will continue to the strengthening of the voters register. We entreat the NDC to trust in the EC to correct discrepancies in the provisional voters register. This current leadership addressed this ahead of the 2020 elections. It is relying on the same process to correct any discrepancies in the register. The Commission would like to assure the general public and all stakeholders that all identified discrepancies with the provisional voters register are being corrected. To date, the register is almost near perfect, as most of the discrepancies have been fully resolved. We have also noted comments from the NDC alluding to ghost names in the register. We are aware that there may be dead persons on the register because several persons die each year. One of the key purposes of the exhibition exercise is to allow relatives of the dead to initiate the process of expunging their names from the register. The NDC indicated at the meeting that it had identified some 50,000 persons who were dead on the register. The Commission once again requested the details of the 50,000 dead persons and assured the NDC that it will work with the District Assembly and Birth and Death Registry to expunge the names from the register.
So we just had to cross over to the Electoral Commission to listen to the EC on issues concerning the voters register. And in summary, they say the voters exhibition offered an avenue for auditing. NDC's concerns might be premature, but the register is almost near perfect, and NDC's comments have been taken into consideration. Essentially, that's what we have from the Electoral Commission. But back in the studio, I'm here with Abdul Rauf Mumuni Abugri on the campaign trail. Rauf, welcome back. Now, let's go back to your policies outlined for the Ayawaso West Wogon. We talked about transparent governance, we talked about a database, and we've talked about urban farming. Yeah. What other ones do you have?
Yes, number 4, we have affordable housing and support for the less privileged. And number 5, we have free tertiary education from level 100 to level 400 for active voters within the constituency. I
would want to pick you on that one.
Sure.
Free tertiary education.
Yes.
How are you funding that?
All right. So when we talk about the education system, so far as the tertiary education system is concerned, let me pick this first. A presidential candidate launched a manifesto, and alongside launching the manifesto, Ghana was being compared to UK. And someone said that Ghana is actually better than UK. So in this comparison, I want to compare Ghana to US. I actually schooled in Miami University in Ohio, that is in the US. I want to compare Ghana to US in this case. In US, when a university is cited within, how do we call it, a community or within a municipal, what the community does with the school is that the community negotiates with the school. It is a must that the community has to negotiate at a percentage of 70% to 100% for the people living there to have that free tertiary education.
But in this jurisdiction, are you talking about universities in your constituency?
I'm talking about universities in my constituency.
Okay.
And for only people who vote within my constituency. These are the two key things.
But you are aware that there are arrangements for people who are natives of the should I say the Labadi area, who are indigents of the land where, let's say, University of Ghana is situated, and they already have provisions, similar provisions going on. Do you believe after the university has already made those provisions, they are obliged to come into negotiation for other people living in the constituency when they are taking care of the indigents already?
What happens is that is my constituency. And then we have about, I think, 5 to 6 universities within that constituency. Let's take like tertiary institutions within that constituency. We have University of Ghana, UPSA, Accra College of Education, Jimpa, Natford University, and one other private university which I've forgotten the name. They are all within the
Seems the Islamic University?
Yeah, no, Islamic University doesn't fall. Islamic University falls under either a Denta or a Shaman. No, it falls under a Shaman. Because I think Trasaco, that's Trasaco. Trasaco falls under a Shaman. So this is what happens. That is my jurisdiction. And so far as is it
Radford University?
Pardon?
Radford University or Wisconsin?
No, Wisconsin falls under
Domikwabinya. Okay, so I think it's Radford.
It should be that one though. So what happens is that I am the member of parliament. If I am the member of parliament of that constituency, what I'm supposed to do is that I will negotiate with the university. So far as you are sitting on the land of that constituency, I will have to negotiate with you. And alongside the negotiations, this is how we're going to do it. Instead of negotiating for 70%, which is a must that you have to provide it for the people there, I will negotiate for 100% for the people who vote within the constituency. And the reason why I brought this policy out is that before I drafted my policy, I went throughout the whole constituency. I meet you, I ask you what you do, and then I want to find the challenges that you are going through within the constituency. And I ask you yourself, what do you think that if it's done, it can curb the problem that you mentioned to me? So looking at this, if I'm able to negotiate for the 100%, it's only for active voters, only those who vote within the constituency. And one thing you have to know is that I told you that about 70% voters are the youth. And most of the youth we are talking about are people who vote within the constituency. And after 4 years, they are gone. Different set of people.
Let's go to the set point.
The set point.
Yes.
The set point is protecting our environment for the next generation to come. And then we have the 7th point, which is the industrial growth and then job creation. And we have the 8th point. Is it 8th rather?
Yes, 8th.
We have the 8th point, which is empowering our future. That is youth empowerment initiative. And we have the 9th one, which is enhancing security and well-being, Which one again hasn't I mentioned?
So with your 9 points, enhancing security, it takes me back to the Ayawaso West Wogon incident that happened in the year 2019.
Yeah.
There were some recommendations made by the ML Short Commission, and the government did its part on acting.
Sure.
What do you have to say on government's position concerning the ML Short recommendation?
Well, I think it was based on that they said they have banned what is even the group? Those people who were wearing black. Invisible forces. Is it invisible forces?
They banned the vigilante.
Yes, vigilante groups. Yes, exactly, vigilante groups. So it was alongside that they said they banned the vigilante groups. But during the 2020 elections, we had people who were wearing masks going around. We didn't know where they were going around for. And I remember this guy's incident, Bongo Ideas. The incident that happened some time ago. He said some people came out to pick him. They were dressed in black.
Till date, we haven't had concrete evidence, so we can't base on allegation.
I'm not basing on allegation. The national security came out to say that they haven't had anybody like that. The Ghana Police Service declared, and other security agencies also declared. So it means that we might be having some of these, vigilante groups still in the country, if these agencies have been able to declare that. So coming back to the declaration being made, I think, well, with this declaration, it was good based on the fact that they said they've banned vigilante, but we are yet to, experience something like that. When it comes to security issues within the constituency, my pride has to be with when it comes to lighting system.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at most of the street lights during the night hours, they are not working. You will only see the poles there, but these lights are not working.
So when you become member of parliament,
people from UPSA who complain about that. When you use that UPSA lane, UPSA road going to Accra College of Education in the night,
actually from Pentagon going through that stretch, yes,
the whole place is dark.
So when you become member of parliament for that area, what are you going to do about it?
I'm going to enhance that community police system.
Okay.
We should be able to, have a lot of, these policemen and routing throughout the whole places. And one thing that I've also come to realize is that in Ghana, when we talk about the security, mostly internal securities, we don't want to involve the military services. We don't want to involve them. It is only when we are talking about resolving peace or when.
But the military's primary mandate isn't for internal.
I know the military's primary mandate isn't for
internal matters of that sort.
Internal matters of that sort. But when we are living in a country that maybe, excuse me to say this, we have the military there, and then we have a lot of military men within the country. I don't recall a statistic that is saying that we have, this number of military people within the country. But then what is their role? What are they doing? How many times do you see them? My brother, we are sitting
then
here.
I think you should go back and look into the role of the military.
I'm coming.
Yes.
I'm not doubting about the role of the military. Or I'm not saying that it is their duty to play a role in internal security matters. I am not saying that. But what I'm saying is that we need to, we need to change that mandate. We need to change that rule so that they can assist us in some of these things. Because look, my brother, there was a survey that was made some time ago about the most corrupt institution in Ghana. And the most corrupt institution in Ghana, the Ghana Police Office was ranked first.
Rauf.
Yes.
Speak to Ayawaso West Wogon. Your last words.
My last words to the people of Ayawaso West Wogon is that I started my campaign trail that was 3 years ago, and we've really worked hard to come this far. And today that we've been able to do the filing, from today onwards we are still going to campaign as much as we can. Actually, we've shared the 10 policies with the media. We've also shared it with the people there. We actually walk to the people, we listen to their concerns, and then we are able to draft, this policy. So that is a policy that we believe that if the people there are able to buy into it, we'll be able to make a change. We can't have a constituency that we allow MPP and NDC to take dominance of that constituency for long. We need to break it. And in breaking this duopoly, we need no other person.